Am I the only one who gets a smile on my face when I watch Ottomans play at the moment? Wanna know, they're back! And it's Louis MT on them this time. Ottomans up against Wham Jeanne. Now, this matchup used to be super toxic for Jeanne because you would just get outpost and blocked. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I still remember it was Mr. versus Marine Lord when the expansion first came out, when Jeanne was like an unstoppable force. And the whole plan got unraveled because Marine Lord built a single outpost. Things are a little bit deeper these days. I'd say Jeanne can actually force you into a really annoying state. The interesting thing about this matchup is, like, on paper, Ottomans are really good against Jeanne because of Janissary. You're an anti-cav Civ against a Civ that only wants to build cavalry. That is a jackpot win. But the problem right now is getting to the Janissaries. Most Ottoman players have been dying prematurely before they actually develop into that threatening late game force. Part of it due to Jeanne's pressure, part of it due to the fact that we're in a Pro Scouts meta, which Ottomans have not really played that well so far. We've seen some experimental builds. B comes to mind. He's a really big lover of the Sultani trade network into Pro Scouts. I'm expecting Sultani trade network here. Louis MT historically has liked that landmark longer than almost any player. In fact, if you guys remember, about a year, yeah, I think it was a year ago, we were casting Louis MT on ladder doing this really funky 2TC Sultani trade network build, fast imping. Map, by the way, is going to be Sacred Grove. You might remember this as the home map of last week. What do you guys think of this map? I think it's interesting. There is some notable differences to just your standard Dry Arabia. It's very subtle, but impactful. And what I mean by that is it's the spread of resources. Like, this is very open ground for you to try and navigate past your initial resources. So you have safe resource, dangerous, and then theoretically safer again when you get to the big tree lines. On top of that, there's this cool divider, which creates like a 3-lane scenario, which might be music to the ears of anyone who likes MOBAs. But I love this. I said that he's a big believer in Sultani Trade Network, but Louis MT takes a different direction. We've actually got Madrasa. Yeah, Madrasa, we talked about this in some previous casts, that Madrasa is kind of being slept on. It's really good for being present. You can still use it to go for like a fast imp build. That's just a given. That's on the table. But the logic is that if you need to be present at Feudal Age, this will equip you adequately. And where it gets really important, why it's so important, is in Feudal Age, I don't feel like if you want to play Feudal Pressure, I don't think you want to go for Anatolian Hills. Anatolian Hills has kind of just turned into a bit of a bait, like a default instinctual thing you do, like, oh yeah, it's good, I'll just build it. But players over time have realized that that sacrifice of going Anatolian removes a lot of pressure play. The tech up's starting to come through. Jeanne already getting the first knights out. In fact, we can actually speed up for a minute or two just this early game. Let's get the first units out. Louis is going to lame the deer. He should be looking to shove his own deer in. This is the value of going for the military school, as it gives you Spearman for free to push, and then the Spearman also going to be valuable against Jeanne herself. But Wham has discovered what's up. We'll deny it. We're not getting Pro Scouts, though. Right? Not with that gold income, no. This is going to be him scaling military schools. So he's playing anti-Pro Scout. Okay. Very interesting. What do people get instead of Anno? City Skylines? Like, wait, what do you mean Anno? You are talking about the Anno, like, Ubisoft games, right? I really need to find a contact over at the Ubisoft influencer team, because they got multiple games this year that I actually want to check out on the launch. I'd love to do some sponsor streams around, like, Anno, also Heroes Might Magic. Oh, Anatolian Hills? Ugh, barely know him. I don't know if, like, Anatolian Hills went down well in the end. Conceptually, what it's trying to do is cool. I think that new map that's coming with the expansion, where you've got the water dividers, is going to achieve something similar to Anatolian Hills that might actually be a better version. Which, by the way, I smiled when I saw this. I thought about adding it to KPMM. So I believe the map's called Waterlines. It's already in the game. Hussein actually created it in-game. The DLC doesn't come out for like another 2 weeks, and he already added it. So I'd normally agree that fighting Jeanne in this age is a really bad idea. if it wasn't for this. Range gets destroyed by Sipahi. Like, it's actually very difficult for Wham to fight this. If Louis gets his timing right and waits for a blob of Sipahi, he can just flood and kill. And the thing is, Sipahi is so tanky that Knights won't kill him fast enough. This is where the Imam point goes real hard. I think Louis, because of the state of this game, you can see he had to go Anatolian. It's kind of unfortunate because he didn't play Pro Scouts. He is, however, going to sneak out on the west side with an outpost drop. Anno games are good. Yeah, so I actually realized this the other day. I really enjoyed Anno. Which one was it? Was it 1600? No, 1600 is the 1800, right? Was the last one? Yeah, 1800. I played a lot of Anno 1800 when it came out, but I never bothered with any of the DLCs. And there's been like 4 years worth of DLC, but they never actually put them on sale in a way that feels like it's worth it. But I am looking forward to the new Anno game because I am a big history nerd. So, but the areas of history that I've enjoyed a lot is of course around like the Roman Greek times. So the new Anno, which I think is called like, is it 14.4 or something, will hit perfectly, or 104 will hit perfectly. I am just as hyped for the new Heroes of Might and Magic. I don't know, there's some really cool strategy games this year. There's probably other ones I haven't noticed as well on top of that. You guys ready for the new Stormgate update? Okay, I'm going to stop. Let's just focus on the game. Louis MT, more Sipahi on the way, Spimmin as well. Wow, just sticking Knights. This is interesting. Louis, you'd think Sipahi are bad, but if you just hide them behind the spears, very impactful even against Knights. And the goal here is to have like probably about 8 or 9. 8 or 9 can just almost immediately remove Jeanne from the fight. And then you just focus on Spearman scaling. But at the same time, this protects your Spearman because Wham's going to see Sipahi and say, building archers is the dumbest thing I could do this game. It would kill me. So he just wants to build even more Knights. Guys, what are you laughing about? Are you not excited for the... No, I'm not going to get there again. I mean, what else we got? Like, Battle Aces. I want Battle Aces to get it right so badly, but I know they're just going to pay to win themselves out of the market. Well, I'm just trying for a freebie. Louis has got the meta on the way. Really big deal here. Sipahi also... Uh-oh. That's an overextension. Wham! Look at the damage already! If you press Divine Restoration, you die anyway. Like, there's no getting away from this. I like that he didn't waste it. You might as well save it for the buyback. That is brutal. But this is the thing about Sipahi. They hit for 24 damage per strike, and they have an attack speed buffer. That was just sick. Great read by Louis. And I wonder, does he consider going for Castle now? It's going to be a buyback. Wham doesn't want to wait. Yeah, he thinks he can farm XP now because he's got the Knights together. And the spear count is a little bit lacking. Also, when you're this close to your base, it's much harder for Sipahi to backstab you. You can just hide in the choke points. So Clash going to come in. XP farm galore. Louis with the Sipahi, he's doing questionable things. Yeah, he's not going after Jeanne. He wasted a lot of time on the Scout. A Scout is now turning to fight him back. Knight count is a little bit low. A lot of Spearmen have been thrown away, but the Sipahi will live. Okay, so decent amount of XP given over. Louis will probably feel like that was worthwhile to keep the Knight count pinned. I am still surprised he didn't go for the sniper on Jeanne, but like we mentioned, when you're this close to the base, your worry is that if you die of her, she walks back here, she gets a garrison, and you're just dead. So Louis was a bit more methodical, calculated about it. It's like, okay, if I do want that Jeanne kill, it's probably going to cost me the game. And yes, the new DLC for AoE 4 should be on the 8th. Maybe I'll need to organize some show matches. We need to restock the funds for that, don't we? Sorry, excuse me. So, like, when new series release, it's kind of the one time where it's actually interesting to do, like, mirror matches, actually. I think Knights Templar will be quite intriguing for a mirror matchup, like, tournament. House of Lancaster, not so much. Wait, did they actually confirm that Battle Ace is going to make you pay for units? That's terrible if so. I'm so gutted. I warned them multiple times about this. You're creating a competitive RTS. You can't paywall units. It's like the worst idea ever. Like, if you're at least a PvE RTS, you could actually get away with it. Okay, so a little bit of an overextension here from Wham. I don't like the way he's splitting up. Like, ideally, you usually want to be raiding with knights, but right now it's about getting the XP churn. He's going to be way too late on it, though. Look what's happening. Louis getting ready for Castle Age. Louis played this really well, guys. This is not your orthodox method of playing Ottomans against Jeanne. At least, not how most people perceive it. Historically, this matchup has been Ottomans camp in their base and Jeanne tries to kill you. And you either get Castle Age and kill her, or you die. But Louis has shown you guys just how valuable Sipahi are. I still think that this is actually the best unit Ottomans have. People have been misled. People say Greek Bombards, they say Janissaries all the time. There's one person who's probably saying Akinji, their name is Faye. But if you've played enough Ottomans or watched enough high-level Ottomans, even when you watch Sipahi lose, you see the potential of them. The problem is most people are scared to play them because they're very fragile. Very high DPS, but if you go into a counter unit type, you just get erased. And it feels so much worse than if it was a horseman dying because you paid 33% more. You say Sipahi a top 3 unit in the game general, right? But Akinji is your top 1, right? Okay, right. I mean, just imagine Akinji with Byzantine economy. Alright, I should stop. That sounds actually broken. Guildhall coming in. Well, I'm not going to be too far behind on this Castle Age timing. He knows this is going to go deeper, so Imperial is going to become the name of the game. I don't know if Louis is going to rush it. Likely we'll see him open with a few Lancers. Because the whole concept is you're reaching a phase in the game where Wham's going to play flanks. Like, Pro Scouts is only going to last so much longer, right? It's probably got about, like, what, 4 or 5 minutes? But even without the Pro Scouts detail, the gold is becoming threatening. Yeah, people giving their opinions on the Sipahi. Oh, here's the other one we talked about. Janissary is now coming in. Interesting that he didn't open 2 or 3 Lancers. I guess his feeling is like, considering the player he's up against, everything's probably going to be walled. Remember, guys, we're 14 minutes in the game. Usually around the 11-minute mark, if there's no wall tiles placed by Wham or Louis, they start to get like this insufferable rash they start scratching out on their chest. And it gets worse. Every 10 seconds, they don't build a wall. So right now, Wham is like blotched up to the point that he looks like he's been attacked by a swarm of bees. So he's looking to get rid of that allergy. Louis MT has so much blotchy skin from all the itches. At this point, he looks worse than Violet in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But he'll fix that soon, don't worry. Why can we still not see the Vizier points? Because it keeps things exciting. But like in all seriousness, Capture Age needs to be updated. It's times like this I honestly quite highly rate going back for the meta point to get the movement speed. I don't think he's going to do it, but like I've seen so many players, like you're 15 minutes in, that point is still so valuable for getting your army across the map. Wow, he did get the early info. I think he glanced the Janissaries. We do have Arbitrary switch. Guys, this doesn't win as hard as you think anymore. Arbitrary used to be able to annihilate Janissaries. But that was back when Janissaries were taking bonus damage from all ranged. That got fixed now. They basically get extra damage tagged against them from archers. The Arbitrae, meanwhile, now not only do they not have the extra 50% damage, to make matters worse, they have lower base damage than when this matchup used to happen. And look at that. Myriad coming in. Louis makes autos look busted. Myriad should know. Myriad was a prolific Ottoman spammer back when Great Bombards were being birthed at a higher rate than a baby boom in the 90s. I still, like, honestly, I think, like, most players need to be double-checking Ottomans and learning Sipahi. I think Sipahi are one of the highest skill execution and skill expression units in the game. Wow. Skill expression comes in with the meta detail. But these things are sick. I think people got way too used to the idea of Ottomans being a boom civ and didn't respect their aggression. And now people are kind of waking up to it. That's Knights from Wham. Might be a really good timing here, actually. No, this is doomed. Look what Louis is doing. He's waiting. He's waiting for the fight to come, and then when it happens, he's going to dive into the tree line, because Wham's going to be distracted. This is sick. So Spearmen arrive, push him away. Sipahi going, good reactions by Wham. The problem, however, is that is a lot of cavalry. He could even dive onto the Arbitrator mass right now. He's got to be considering it. French army still being chased away. It looks like instead he's going to back out. So yeah, a little bit awkward. The meta was getting sniped low, and that deterred Louis from continuing to dive. Meanwhile, hello. Wham, has he threaded the needle? Wraps around, comes in anyway. Villagers will have to hide. Janissaries start to spawn. Remember, no raw bloodlines. So this mass knight is not as threatening as you'd normally see at this state of the game. Sipahi are still waiting on the flank, looking for targets. And looks like the boar has been discovered. Wham, we'll have to vacate the area. Knights, meanwhile in the base, are going to start finding workers. Can he get past? Oh, he can! Sick grab, Wham, sticks to the target. No textiles either. So Ottoman villagers dropping like flies. He can even turn onto the springles afterwards. This is like a jackpot. Wow, like, you know, when you win once and you just keep rolling. Like, wow, I think this slots machine might be broken. Only no RNG, just skill here. Wham, now with a worthy villager lead. It's a bit deceptive because you are up against military school production. Plus, relics coming home. Yeah, Louis been kind of crazy with this. I can't believe this. Despite the damage done, look at the relic state. It's almost like nothing happened. Now, Wham does still have upsides. The guild hall is accruing. He will eventually find his way into Imperial. But Louis, I still think is in a very good position here. It's about to get better. Yo, he gets the hit. 3 workers down, 2 more to fall. Jeanne is reacting, but it doesn't look like it's going to be quick enough. Villagers can get sniped, all but 1 dying. Jeanne's champions? I'd hope so. Yeah, it's champions. You don't really want to be building the riders against Ottomans. I think, like, Ottos might be the single worst civ to build John riders against. But imagine how giga-charred you'd look if you beat your opponent with them. Right? Right? You got to do it for the star points, guys. Come on. The hard flex. It's just trying to sneak in. The walls are going up, though. This is going to get linear, and that's where things get bad for Wham. It's good that he's prepping for it, though. He's already switching Arbitraire. The Knights are going to become less impactful. 4 relics now for Louis. Oh, he even gets a Knight. Oh. Jackpot. Don't mind if I do. The Sipahi have just been so dictatorial in this game. I don't know, like, I'm looking at the state of the Knights, and yes, I know Wham got more worker kills, but I feel like the Sipahi have been more valuable to the state of this game than these Knights. Wham looks like he's going to try to just consolidate some positions here. I imagine we'll be looking at keep drop on the 8k vein. Oh no, this is kind of different. Like, he's setting up farms east, and then he needs to go west for gold. Like, he can fix that. He can do red pass plus a castle drop, but, like, it does feel weird that you're not, like, leaning your farms west to hunker down in one location. Yeah, especially with mass arbitraire, you're going to be slow. And what? Did Louis really just go Bombard? He did. We've got the Great Bombard point. I mean, surely, like, at this stage, you could just go Imperial Age. Not like right now, but in 2 or 3 minutes. So, kind of crazy that he actually burned those Vizier points on a one-offer. It's going to take a while, but boy, do I think this guy's going to do well. Yeah, one scary thing here is, like, your opponent has now gone Arbitraire. So, like, for Wham, the scary thing is that the Bombard's maybe a bit hard to counter. You can't really dive onto it with 16 knights against this many Janissary. There's a big risk he's going to get blocked on gold. Like, this is all intentional because Louis looked at the spawn and he's gone, okay, you're running out of gold. Like, you've gone arbitrary, you've gone knights. You still haven't teched, so you haven't switched the guild hall to gold either. You are in a dangerous position. If you lose this area, you can't play Jeanne late game. It's pretty ballsy. I feel like most players would have just went for the Imperial. Louis is a big believer in mass siege right now. Well, I think if he doesn't play Pro Scouts, you have to be, right? Like, if you play Pro Scouts and then you go siege anyway, it feels really weird. It's actually a big part about why, like, Knights feel pretty OP right now, is people can afford to keep spamming them to the point that they can be dominant. It's being dominant. Great Bombard. Knocking at the door. It's going to be torches out as well. Full commitment. And the Janissaries could repair instead. Louis is going to use the villages. He's not waiting around. And look at the timing. The red pile's coming up on the east side, but the castle's going to drop before he gets the Arbalest emplacement. Sick timing by Louis. He has got some catching up to do, or rather some taking down to do, though. Because he is about to be an entire age behind. Now, militarily, he's incredibly scary for Wham to fight. The issue, though, is when you play Great Bomber and you play into mass Janissaries, you don't really have the pacing to dive and punish. And to make matters worse, you don't really want to risk it against red piles. So we do have knights raiding again. Wham. I mean, at this point, he's milked the cow so much, there's probably blood coming out. This is a big hit, though. If he can get beyond them... textiles, like Louis, I think he's dead here. These villages are gone. Club down, big hit. Janissaries are now reacting, but the eco tells no lie. 12 villages up, make it 13 for Wham. Okay, not just that, an age ahead as well. This game has flipped the table entirely. Like, this game looked as if Louis was on a collision course to just win with Great Bombard push timing. But that raid forced him all the way home. Wham's now in a pretty dictatorial position. He can look to reclaim on the north side, which he needs to do for the gold. And also, because he's in Imperial Age, he can switch the guild hall over if he wants to. So gold isn't going to become a problem later in the game. Ones, if you think Wham's going to win this game. Twos, if you think Louis is. 2 TC now from Louis as well. Okay, but he's like rushing Imp while being greedy, right? Pretty crazy. One thing to keep in mind is like it is a noteworthy eco lead for Wham, but once again, military schools. We have 5 military schools. 5 military schools of passive production, adding like on average like what? 200 resources a minute at this stage? 150, 200, right? That's a lot. If a village, so like each of these military schools is worth, let's say, like 3 villages. So it's like 15 more eco into his push. Other side, Wham has obviously got the discounts from consecration, which is definitely kind of keeping him in balance here, allowing him to compete a little bit. But I did just notice something really important here, folks. This is painful. He doesn't actually have the technology that would decrease the full cost. Remember, there is a tech that you need to get called Ordnance Company. It's only now coming in. Yeah, he was missing this tech, so he was only discounting the food, not the wood and the gold. And there is the big surge point. Istanbul Observatory now coming in. They should rename this to Istanbul, just because of how instantly it gives you an army. Like, the production rate ramp up is pretty wild, remember. This thing increases production speed by 100% instead of the 40%. I'm not really in a position to punish this. No. He gets baited on the flank. Spy hero rotating in. Do you elite them? I think you do. Your late game comp here is like Jeanne plus Sipahi. Spirals is quite interesting to keep scaling. I actually don't mind that. He's got almost 10 of them, and some of this interesting. If he builds a siege workshop, shard triggers I think is low-key slept on right now. It's actually surprisingly effective, folks. Remember, it gives you the, what was it, 25% damage increase and more missile resistance. As in the attack speed increase. Which, by the way, like, it's very interesting, the dynamics. I think when you're playing ranged, attack speed is better than damage. But when you're playing melee, damage is better than attack speed. Because the logic is with melee, there's a lot more moving. So, like, having each instance attack harder is better. But with ranged units, the attack speed feels better because of the overkill risk. So you get shot triggers plus the attack speed meta bonus. Like, you're just gatling people down. It's pretty crazy. How much does it take to produce a Springle from the landmark? It's really, really quick. Because remember, Springles are ultra cheap now. They're only 250. So you can have like 2 Springles out instead of 1 mango on the same timing. But we do have the Great Bombard switch up now coming in. Janissaries have got their trench guns ready to gun down things. Wham has a problem here. He doesn't have late game economy yet. And he needs a big fight to get Jeanne to level 4. On Springled every minute. I think it's quicker at this point because of the Istanbul, right? Yes, in castles, like, I think it ends up being like 1 minute 5 seconds or 1 minute 9 seconds. It's really fast. And I always rate going Springles over mangoes because mangoes are kind of underwhelming castle. But the other thing is, like, if you go for 1 mango over 2 Springleds, your opponent can just target that 1 mango and kill you, right? You lose all the value straight away. By diversifying into multiple units, you can not only attack multiple targets, but also you are multiple targets to be attacked by melee units, which is meant to be the counter. So, like, I'm always a bigger fan of Springleds over mango opening. Military Academy increase it? It should do, right? No, I'm talking Istanbul would increase it. Oh, you're talking about like the Military Academy tech? It should do. Wait, shouldn't Mirai know? You prolific Ottoman spamming scum. So Wham's just kind of in an awkward position right now. He knows he needs that fight, but his economy isn't at a point where he can actually afford that fight. So what he's going to try to do is just delay the game. We got Wham's walls coming up just in the nick of time here. And he needs to get more farms. If Louis senses this for what it is, there's a great attack point for him in the next 2 minutes. He's pretty much popped. Like, this is a bit bad for what Louis is doing right now. You don't just want to stand here. When you're fully popped out like this, you want to attack. Because right now, you're missing out on 3 units. And yes, Myriad used to be, like, the most prolific Ottoman spammer. It's how I first came across him. I discovered Myriad when he was but a wee boy spamming Ottomans in English. I know, disgusting. God, I remember those were torturous times as well. You'd be up like against Divine DFB, you're like, oh wow, he's playing English. Oh wow, he's playing Ottomans. Oh wow, this game is 2 hours. We need bigger gates in the next DLC. Hear me out. What if the Golden Gate became a gate? Whoa. Snowball's now coming up from Louis. Like, anything you can do, I can wall better. Good typing as well. Needs a bit more urgency about this push, though. Wham is getting a lot of freebies out of this. Like, in terms of, like, time. The biggest freebie of all that he needs. Guildhall is generating a lot of gold. We do have the cannon switch. Yeah, this is where things get tricky. Like, the cannons can actually kite and kill the Great Bombards really easily. Remember what I said, guys. Cannons are the best siege in Imperial Age. But, like, bang for buck-wise, it's very hard to beat them. I just want to emphasize, like, walling this map isn't exactly easy. Any players that are watching right now can attest to this. Like, this map, when you look at what these two have done, you're like, oh my god, this is such a campy map. Look at the way they wall. It's not really the way it typically plays out. Looks like he has discovered the Great Palace now. Red Palace is going to be a little bit of a nuisance, so you don't really want to come to the east side. In fairness, the Red Palace is kind of irrelevant. It's the gold that you need to be denying. Or, you know, hear me out. We could just literally dive into the enemy base. Squirrels are moving up, by the way. This is scary. Out the tree, only 95 HP. The Janissaries just riddle it with bullets, man. It only takes 5,000. Okay, Guildhall down. The Great Bombards are moving up as well. Janissaries are now in range, but Vise has not been dropped by Wham. And where is Jeanne? Am I blind? Is she not here? No, she's coming in behind now. Uh-oh, Louis may have overextended here. Backstab's gonna come through. Janissaries trying to gun it down. Great Bombard is being ignored. Janissaries are gonna struggle here. The Royal Bloodline's just a little bit too strong. And it's gonna be a full wipe. Wham! Bam! And thank you, ma'am. Gets it when he needs it most. 27 knights remain. Janissary count has been reduced. I can't believe this guy just played mass knights like that and made it work. And a huge fight for Jeanne. Much needed XP. Not enough to get Mecha Jeanne, but has to be creeping close after that. Looks like he didn't fully move in range sometimes. He got distracted. So I think actually he only got about like half the XP he should have out of that fight. Now, definitely not the end of Louis. Passive production is going to help him resurge. He also has resources in reserve. You thought they counted knights? Yeah, they do when the Janissaries stand in front of them. But Louis kind of just tried to run before he could walk there. And we do have 6 canons. If Louis MT likes his siege that much, it's going to be hard to actually fight into a winning position with it right now. Mia Micah trolled so the Wham could learn from it. Of course. I mean, like, Wham is still barely an infant learning from the wise Mia Micah. This is not your 90 Knights game. And dude, 6 cannon isn't too much. I've told you guys already. Cannons are OP. Best siege weapon in game. Look at that. 60 base damage. Good attack speed. Instant shot. What's not to like an... Oh my... No. Louis, not like this. Castle goes down. Wait, Wham. No, come on. Okay, this is maybe a little bit greedy. Adjustable crossbars is being prepped. Spahi are going to dive in the meantime. Knight count is non-existent. He's now overextended. He's going to end up losing the cannons. He knows it as well. Tries to just run Jeanne in. She's not going to get level 4. No. Throws her away. Well, feels like prematurely. And now the cannons are going to flop. Wow. Okay, so that's like, what? 5,000 resources down the drain? I mean, he had the discount on them with the consecration, but it's still a lot of resource bank lost. Guildhall just got pulled. That was it. That was everything, guys. He has no second ace up his sleeve here of like 4,000 gold to work with. Yeah, this is actually wild. Like, he threw away so much there. He has got back out on the golf temporarily, but like in terms of what's available in this map, pretty limited. And considering you took that type of dive without having Guildhall reserves when you want to go adjustable crossbars mangoes, it feels like Wham just punted the game into the off-field. And then left himself with an open goal to be shot. What could Wham have done different here? Maybe opening the flanks with a few rams and sending the knights in might have been a better value play. Lets him throw away some units while replacing with what he really wants. I just think this brute force down the center, he kind of just got baited in. Like 6 cannons is kind of wild. Against Master Pahi, it just felt like what Wham didn't do is prep the next wave of units. Like men-at-arms here maybe would have been the solid shout. And that's a solid shout from Jack Leo. What up? Thank you very much. Appreciate the subs, mate. There's 5 people. Definitely enjoy the gifted subs. Reminder, if you haven't subbed already, you want to, so you don't have to worry about those ads. Also, you know, supports a content creator. I assume you enjoy watching. Bush coming in. We've been here before. Last time it almost cost Louis the game, but this time it might just win it for him. And what is up, happy hungry dude? He's hungry for an ad-free viewing experience. Appreciate the sub, mate. Welcome to Swarm. Double Great Bomber. Meanwhile, keep drop. No, this is cursed. He's gonna die. Oh my god. Oh. Janissaries are just not reasonable. No textiles. It's a massacre. A doubtful claim on the gold for Wham. And now he finds himself 20 economy down. I find myself gifted subs up. What is up, Marv? Thank you very much, you legend. Appreciate the 5 gifted. Wham is in pain now. The gold is a problem. The guild hall is down. He's not getting anything more. He's got Jeanne to blast, but there's an argument that he may have got Jeanne up to level 4 too late. 6 mangoes is definitely threatening, but it's 3 great bombards currently. And a lot of Sipahi. I think the issue in this fight for Wham is going to be not enough front line. Nango's at least scare him away. Sipahi. Oh, hello. Well, that looks like a freebie. He's going to go for more. The mango positioning is questionable here. So, okay, he will at least protect the rest of the siege. I feel like he lost more than he should have, though. The great bombards are now deploying. Shots coming in. Big hit there. We'll have to reset here, but now that level 4 Jeanne is in, it's kind of interesting. Sometimes it feels almost freeing, because now there's nothing left for her to do with that XP. You've reached peak. So you don't, like, it's gonna sound weird, but you don't really need to freak out as much anymore. Spy. Your tempting fate, son. Looks like we do have another castle on the west side in the end. Wham did complete it. He's just so low on raw economy. We have to remember at the end of the day, Louis isn't just ahead by 20 eco. It's the military schools. It's just adding so much in. I feel like Janissaries should have slightly less attack speed. It's interesting you say that. My feeling is a bit different. I've said this before that I think Janissaries are slightly overtuned for Castle Age. I think they're fine in Imperial. I actually don't think they're like Giga busted. Like, sure, they have a decent attack speed, but they have fairly low base damage for a gunpowder unit compared to standard like gunpowder units, right? And then there's the health, like 105 compared to 130. The issue here is more a qualitative one of like one player has got gunpowder and the other one has got crossbows, which is reasonable. Like, that should be the case, that you lose that fight on equal thing. Cost less than hand cannoneers? Sure, but they don't cost a lot less, right? Like 160 compared to 240. Like I said, I think Janissaries are fine. Because like also the counter argument there is you can blob them quicker than you can blob hand cannoneers. And the other thing that I think people sleep on at this stage in the game is Silk Bowstrings. Silk Bowstrings allows archers to wipe this pretty efficiently. Because Janissaries are slower and they'll get completely outranged. So yeah, I don't feel like it's an uncounterable force. It's still strong. It's going to always feel strong because it's like you have one of the best cavalry units in the game. You have this gunner unit that protects itself really well against cav. And then you've got like siege. Then you're making archers. I don't know. I think archers are a little bit slept on in the hyper late game. Silk Bowstrings is kind of crazy when you just really think about the percentile increase. Why doesn't Wham have archers? Because Arbitrary are your like bread and butter. Arbitrary are the single best unit French and Jeanne have access to. At this stage, you just want Arbitrary because archers is more about me funneling units to throw away. Like you throw archers at the enemy, and a lot of them are going to die, but like against things like Janissaries, they should be like a cost-efficient trade. When you play Jeanne, it's more about having the best quality army. Win the fight by just having premium units and attack speed buffing them all. Like, if there was an aura, archers would kind of make more sense, but the aura is like temporary with Jeanne. You activate Valorous Inspiration, you buff your units for X seconds. That means you want to have the best units possible that are present for 20 seconds. I think this actually might just be the end of Wham. He's kind of crumbling now. The flank raids are going to find the castle. That's irrelevant. We do have trade attempts coming through. The Red Palace is still up, right? Like, that's the thing that I think Wham is looking at. Is like, well, he hasn't removed me from there yet. But this many Great Bombards parked, I don't see an easy world for the Mangoes to approach. We do at least have him kind of scaring Louis off temporarily, but we're up to 47 Janissaries now. Great Bombards. Oh, I'm going to get the shots in. Mangoes. Oh, was that intentional? He attacked a meta. No, and the Spy get in. All right, that's curtains. That's all, folks. No, he's got nothing left. Gold is down to 2k remaining. The guild hall never got repaired. This is a goldless game. He can't trade Evo now because the army's camped. So salutes for Wham. He will not make it past the quarterfinals. That means we're going to be getting Louis MT up against Dumu on Thursday, which historically is quite a wild set. This one, I don't know. I'd rate this. Was this the pure wallism? No, this was more like an 8 out of 10 on the walls. I've seen crazier. We were tame.